What's going on, y'all? Chuck Nutface here. I wanted to do something a little bit different today. Gonna go through some of my folders, or I have gone through them already, and I'm gonna do a top 10 of my favorite folders. So this is kind of a unofficial list of what's my favorite at the time and everything else. It doesn't necessarily mean they're the best knives or the most effective knives that I have or anything like that, but there are the ones that I like the most out of my collection. So it was actually a little bit harder than I thought. Just to narrow it down to 10. I don't have a huge, gigantic collection of, hundreds of knives or anything like that, but the ones I do have, I really like for a lot of different reasons. So it's kind of tough to narrow them down, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. And so I'm going to do a little bit of a series here, and I'm going to do, top 10, then top 5, and then top 3. I'm not going to try to go down to top, my overall favorite knife. I think just taking it to top 3 is going to be about where I'm gonna stop. So in no particular order here, I'll go ahead and get into it. And the first knife is gonna be, this Strider SMF. Now this one's really cool. It's got that PVK exclusive new old stock scale with the Captain America. So I really like that one. It's actually gone through a couple of different changes from the original, configuration. It used to be, it was just like kind of a stone washer, almost orange peel scale on it. And of course that's a different LBS right there. And the blade was a black 20 CV blade, but this is actually a Tiger Stripe S35 now that I've got on there. And this is of course the flamed flame scale on this one. Yeah, I really dig this one. This one is one my son likes a lot too. It's actually going to end up going to him at some point because he kind of likes, Avengers, Captain America, everything else. So this is a really cool one. So I like this one a lot. The Strider SMF, a lot of people prefer the SNG because it's smaller and everything else, but I've always liked the size of the SMF. I've always preferred that to the SNG. So that is going to be the first one I'm going to look at here. Let's see, should I try to fit them all in camera? We'll see how long we can get away with doing that. Next, let's see. We'll go ahead and do a Medford. This is the Medford Proxima. This is the DLT exclusive. I think it was the winter 2021 exclusive, hence the, the little snowflake engraving right there. This is really an overlooked knife, I think, overall, especially within the Medford line. It kind of turns people off. It turned me off a little bit with that big honking flipper tab right there. But as I've had the knife and everything else, I've really grown to appreciate it. The action on this is great. All Medfords, once they break in, they tend to have really nice actions. So this one is no exception. I really enjoy this one a lot. I love the blade profile. I love the flipper tab on it now. It acts as a guard. Not that you really need that guard. And of course, the black hardware I like the ano work on this, that flamed ano. I think it looks really sharp. Certain lights it looks more purple, then more blue. I just really like this knife overall. Definitely an overlooked knife within their lineup. But I think a lot of people kind of stay away from it. That flipper tab right there turns them off. But if you give it a chance, it may just grow on you. I actually ended up selling this one to a friend of mine, my friend Greg, who's a friend on Instagram, and he's a friend of the channel and everything else. And he's loaned me a bunch of knives to review. And I ended up selling him this one, and then he sent a bunch of knives back to me to go ahead and sell. And a few of them were ones that I had sold him, and this was one of them. So I decided, to figure out a way to keep this one, and we agreed on a price, and I ended up keeping this one too. So I got that one back in the collection. So that's a good one right here. What the heck? We'll go ahead and just do our Medfords. The Medford Fighter Flipper. This is overall my favorite Medford design. I really love the Fighter Flipper. I love how big and how much attitude it has. I love the heft of it. The design of it, everything about it. Once again, this is a knife that did not break, or took a while to break in. It was not a great flipper when I first got it. But after some adjustments and just letting it break in, it turned out great. So this has got that flamed hardware, which looks awesome on it. Bronze on the screws, but flamed on the pivot, which just looks great. Black that PVD, Armor Lube is the company they use. They do such a great job with PVD. It always looks awesome, and it's really tough, really holds up well. And then of course that Freight on Lock company exclusive ano of kind of the apocalyptic scene, and then it's been flamed underneath and everything else. So yeah, this is a favorite right here. I really love that model. Love that knife. It's definitely my favorite knife that Medford makes, you know, without question. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep all these in frame as we go on here. But in any case, moving on, we'll just get the Medfords out of the way. This is, you may notice something similar about this one in the Marauder H. Same laser work, same anno work as the Fighter Flipper. So I'll kind of hold those two up right here. So these are both 1-of-1s. They were Frade and Lock Company exclusives. And so the finish is a little bit different. You can see this is their old style finish. So it's a little more matte. Plus it's got pocket wear on it and everything else. I've had it for longer. I've had it for a couple of years, almost 2 years now. And so, you know, the finish, they've changed their style of finish on these knives. So this is more of a traditional stone wash. This is what they call the river wash, which is almost like a satin finish on the scales, but then a light tumble. So it's a little bit different. You know, it's got that same flame on the clip and everything else. It just looks great. But yeah, and you can see that right there too on the scale. And this is the Tanto version, which I think Medford Tantos just look killer. They always look awesome. And so it's got that nice hollow grind. You know, these are just great. This one's CPM 3V2, which was a bonus, you know, definitely. So, all right, so those are the 3 Medfords that I have on the list. So those, the first 4 knives that I'd say, you know, are in my top 10 favorite. Let's go on and we will do change the direction a little bit here. We'll go ahead and do a Rockstead knife. So I recently got some Rocksteads. This is the Shin. This is the YXR-7, all DLC blade, just mirror polished. These things, unfortunately, they are beautiful, but they do collect fingerprints. You know, these are just extremely well made, you know, considered production knives, but really they fall into that semi-custom. You know, the attention to detail on these is really, it's almost second to none. This one it's just breaking in very nicely. I've been carrying it quite a bit. It's been kicked out of my pocket lately for a different knife, but it's definitely falls into that, you know, extra high quality, just, you know, really superfluous in pretty much every way, you know, as far as folding knives go and production knives. Well, and if we're going to stick with Rockstead, we'll go ahead and we'll do the Hugo. This is the original Hugo, not the Hugo 2. This is the Hugo X IW, IW for Ironwood. And so this one's a little bit different than their previous generation of Hugo, and then of course the Hugo 2, which has changed also. So the Hugo used a duraluminum scale and you know, of course it had a pocket clip. This one does not have a pocket clip, but it, you know, it doesn't kind of, I don't know why they decided to go that way, but they just said no pocket clip. It comes with a pocket, or not a pocket sheath, it comes with a belt sheath that works really well, but you know, my carry style isn't really, you know, belt carry all that much. And so, you know, in order to carry this one, what I do is I have this leather pouch right here. This is a clip slip from Cedar Grove Leather. I'll go ahead and link their Etsy or their Instagram down in the description. But this is really good, high quality. It just goes ahead, and once it breaks in, it kind of just fits right to the knife, and so it clips into your pocket. It's a little bit thick when you do that because this is a thick knife anyway. And so, you know, it's probably best in jeans or something like that, but it works out really well. They do great work. This is just a beautiful knife. I mean, it's just that ZDP 189, mirror polished, cutting edge, same type of blade style where it's just zero bevel, convex grind on that, and they're just cutting machines. And I haven't done a review on this one yet. I will. It's in the pipeline. I'll do a full review of the Hugo 2, or not the Hugo 2, the Hugo X. I'll go ahead and get that review done as well. How are we looking on fitting things in camera? Yeah, we're all right. Shifting gears once again, the Emerson, and not just any Emerson, but the Emerson Big Bulldog. I really like this knife. This thing's really cool. I've had several Emersons. I still have several. I have sold a few off. If you watch my State of the Collection video, I had a lot more, but I have sold a few off. I kind of tend to do that as I collect a particular style, a brand, a simple model, something like that, or one particular model, and then I end up kind of selling off some and keeping my favorites. This is definitely one of my favorites, Emerson. So this is the Big Bulldog. It's they have a regular Bulldog, which is, you know, not quite the same dimensions as this one. It's going to be like a 3 1/4 inch blade, I think. And this one's a 3.75, I believe. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's about 3.6, something like that. And that really aggressive Tanto, this one is serrated as well. I ended up trading for this one with another member of Instagram. And yeah, happy to get this one. I've got that is that the 45 auto? Yeah, that 45 auto thumb disc on there, which is good. You know, these are, I don't know, Emerson knives. There's just something about them. I've got fancier knives. I've got, you know, quote unquote nicer knives, but there's just something about the Emerson line, that rugged simplicity that they have that just I really do enjoy. So got to include an Emerson on there. And we are quickly running out of space. Don't think we're going to be able to put all of them on here. But in any case, kind of another overbuilt beefy knife. Oops, the ZT 0303 Ken Onion design. These are completely out of production. Can't get these anymore. Hashtag make ZT go bold again. But, you know, ZT is doing different stuff right now. They don't have a whole lot that harkens back to these. They do have the 308, which is, you know, kind of a throwback to, you know, the older Ken Onion designs, but not quite the same. I've had that. This is a washer model. It's not the KVT bearing system or anything like that. And this one is also unique because it has been de-assisted. Now, you can always take the torsion bar out of these, but the blades don't have a detent hole drilled into them. All right, so there's nowhere for the detent that's in the lock bar to rest and kind of keep the blade closed. So if you don't drill a detent hole, it's going to kind of flop open. You're going to have not a very good action. There's not going to be anything really keeping it closed. And so it can be a safety issue, but it's also just not going to perform very well. So in that case, it makes more sense just to keep the torsion bar installed. But my friend Satudave, I'll go ahead and link his channel. He was kind enough to, you know, we talked about it a little bit. I sent him this and a couple others. He went ahead and put a nice detent hole in there. He did all the measurements, made real technical. And he's a machinist by trade, and he just, you know, he mods his knives, and he's done some videos on the stuff he's done. And he does great work, and he was nice enough to kind of take a look at it for me and do that for me. So I really did appreciate that. But yeah, it, you know, I wouldn't say it's necessarily ball shut, but you know, it's nice to have this big, beefy, classic ZT knife that so many people like and wish they still did. That functions, you know, just near flawlessly. So yeah, really like that one too. We'll kind of see if we can stick that one right there. Let's see, we'll go ahead and take a look at this one. I recently did a video on this. This is the Alamic 247. Now the 247, I've owned several over the years. This is their new, almost full hollow grind style, which is definitely the thinnest knife that they made within the 247 line. I've owned probably 6 or 7 of these over the years, all multiple blade styles, all the classic styles, plus this one and the buoy that they came out with as well. This is the only one I have currently. You know, this one's just super cool because, you know, this is the Halloween 2022. It's got that special laser engraving put on there, the Huggy Wuggy, which is something my kids really like. They watch those YouTube programs, and Huggy Wuggy is one of those kind of spooky characters. You know, the Alamic 247 is just a knife that I think should be in the conversation for, you know, best folders overall. They're just really well done. They're really well made. Company's great, fantastic customer service. Fantastic build quality, just great people all the way around. The head of the company, or at least the face of the company, is Eugene, and he's really great with his customers, and overall just fantastic company to work with. They really take care of really take care of their customers. They're pretty awesome over there. So yeah, the Alamic 247, definitely one that I think everybody should check out and keep on the radar. And so last but certainly not least, and this doesn't mean it's my absolute number one, but this is, you know, the last one I'm doing right here, is the Spartan Heartsey folder. These are just some of my favorite knives, period. Love the SHF. Great knife. I'll definitely always have one. I probably had 4 or 5 of these too. And this is the one I ended up settling on. It didn't have this blade in originally, but these scales, these Dia de los Muertos scales, I really like these. Kind of check out the laser work. They do some of the best laser and ano work in the knife business. They really do. They're just top notch. You know, it's just that deep laser. It's very defined, really well done. But this knife, just as is, it's just ergonomically, it's great. I just really like everything about this knife. This is definitely one of my favorites overall. And let's see, we're gonna do an honorable mention as well with the Benchmade Grizzly Ridge. And this one is really special to me. It was a gift. It was a gift from my wife for Father's Day one year, a few years back. And it's been modded as well. So this is not the way it typically, the Grizzly Ridge typically looks. It had a recurve, and it was more of a drop point with some serrations, you know, at the time, not serrations, but some jimping at the top for fine cuts. My friend Jurassic Blades, he went ahead and did the mod work on this one and made it a little bit different, you know, with that buoy and the swedge and everything else, and he kind of took out that recurve in it too. So this one's very cool. It's one I'll end up keeping as well forever. So there you go. I'm gonna try to you know, drop this down. It's quite the pile right there. Let's see if I can maybe zoom it out a little bit. Yeah, it's a little herky-jerky right there, but there you go. So that's what I have right here. That's the top 10 plus 1 of my favorite knives. Let's see if I can narrow this down to 5. There's probably something when I look at this down the road, I'll say, why didn't I choose this or why didn't I choose that? But this is kind of what I've got right now that I've gone with as my top 10 plus 1. So in any case, go ahead and if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, smash that like button. Follow me if you haven't already, or subscribe to me if you haven't done so already. I really would appreciate that. That button's right there in the corner. Just click on that. Turn on those notifications so when I have new content, you're aware of it. Give me a follow on Instagram at Chuck_Nunface. I'd certainly appreciate that as well. And yeah, stay tuned. I'll be doing the top 5, then the top 3. Peace out, y'all.